Good morning, Blue Storms. Resonant today, settling in. Sorry. We're going to try to change direction just a little bit. Slow down. Okay, wait a minute. This is my space. And I get to explore this space. And I do nobody any favors if I'm trying to not be true to myself. So here I am. What am I doing? And why am I doing it? I listened into some of what I was saying yesterday. And, yeah. I genuinely believe nobody will listen to that. I genuinely believe also that the intel as such is not bad, but I don't know about the delivery. Fine-tuning frequency and delivery. And I can only do it through me, synchronize this wave spell. Now, what am I doing? What do I believe I'm doing? First of all, I believe I'm learning something here in this process of sharing this, walking through the talking this way with nobody listening, somebody listening, who knows who's listening. And I'm following my joy, I'm following my bliss, and it's really a journey of discovery for me. What I'd like to do is inspire, perhaps, but I share, join, show, or do I am I just saying, Spirit, use me? Am I giving up responsibility if I do that? Different story, no answer. We're in the wave spell of the Skywalker. I am going to slow down a little bit. And see what that does. There have been in the past some of my episodes, I mean, out of those 50 odd episodes, I may have listened to a maximum of 10, I'm sure. I just don't have the time. And then sometimes I'm like, no, I'm not interested. In the beginning, there was a time where it was nice to listen back. I enjoyed receiving my own frequency. And then I left it there. And I was like, okay, fine, I don't need to do this on a daily. But when I ramble away at full speed for over an hour, it may just be, I mean, talk about echo chamber, it would be nice to have some feedback, but it's also fine. I want to speak about the blue storm in the wave spell of the Skywalker. And I'm aware right now, anyone who has followed, I, in the blue hand, was this inner critic that really showed up and that perhaps asked for integration. That's a way of looking at it. I like, sometimes we can really shift things for ourselves when we simply shift our perspective, which means we change our own, whatever, perspective, place, time, whatever. And instead of looking at this inner critic as, and this is exactly what it was, because if you remember, if you were here, it was like, it is a conglomeration of a lot of whatever authority figures. So it felt like for a moment like, this is my father's voice. Isn't only my father's voice, but it's like, you know what I mean? So if it is like my father's voice, then the child in me kicks in and goes powerless, because it was almost impossible, or I didn't learn how to really liberate myself from that authority and to balance and put it in its place lovingly, not through rebellion, but lovingly say, I appreciate. I did do it at some point. It was a bit of a war. It was a battle of wills. And when battles of will happen, they don't go well, because when a will has to back down, it's bruised. It's either broken, which happened to me a lot in childhood, breaking my will. I think that's another story I need to retell. Really, I need to retell. But it can be broken, like when you're breaking the will of a horse, and then it becomes docile. Compliant, maybe fearful, because it no longer has its own. What breaks when our will breaks? For me, it's a very confusing topic. I'm meandering again. It's a confusing topic, because for me, always ego flows into this thing. If I exercise my will, it's kind of automatically linked in my system. Or is that egoic? Is that then my ego? And then I shy away immediately. Oh, that's another deep topic. That's another deep topic. I want to read us something about the blue storm, but before that I want to say to lovingly assert my will and put something like my father's authority over me at some point lovingly in its place, and say thank you for your concern or for your advice, but I'm going to do this my way. And I actually have, as I came of age, my relationship with my dad changed so drastically when we both moved to Africa when I was 15 and away from my mom. It was an overnight change, 180 degrees. I never ever understood it. It went into instant perfect harmony, perfect cooperation, perfect alliance, absolutely complementary relationship, perfect trust. It was incredible. And just the shift of going over there, what it did to both of us, well, I was 15, so, but really, wow. Okay, this isn't what that's about. I remember when I asked my parents when I was 14 or 13, I had 2 ear holes for earrings, and I wanted 3 more on one side. And I asked them, not so much for permission, because I was getting into that age where it's like I do what I want. But I wanted their advice because actually a part of our relationship was very healthy. And it was like, I can ask you advice because you're older than me. You may be thinking of things I'm not thinking of because I'm an immature child. So let me hear what you have to say and then make my decision from there. I heard what they had to say. I think my father strongly advised against it. My mother didn't have a very strong opinion about it. I don't remember exactly. And the reasoning for going against it was like, what if then in certain age, I don't know, one reason was you're going to destroy your acupuncture points in your ears. And the other was, which is very interesting coming from my parents who were absolutely, what? Now that I think about it, like, what does my parents have to do with acupuncture points? Interesting. Like, how weird is that? Who was speaking through them? And the other one was some disfiguration in old age. What am I going to look? I don't know. It's something. But they wasn't really strong. A nose ring was stronger, and I didn't do it. And tattoos would have been really strong, but I never even considered getting a tattoo myself. I was like, yeah. And then I ended up getting the earrings, making my own decision, even though they were like, not really. But there was no war about that. Versus when I changed my course of studying later, and shaved off all my hair, that was war. And that was war based only on superficial. The studying I can sort of still understand. The fear of, oh child, what are you doing? You're wasting your life. You're going into something that is completely hopeless. And then spirit turned that on its time. It was a complete war. And then one thing my father experienced, and he called me the next day and apologized. Like, never happened before and never happened since. That was some serious humble pie. And what happened? He experienced something that deeply moved him emotionally. And he went to get himself that same experience another 5 times. So deeply moved was he by that. Oh, now that I'm remembering that, I am deeply moved. I just want to cry. But it just activates my incredibly deep love for my parents that I have for my father. Whew. Anyway, Blue Storm, Wave Spell of the Skywalker. Let's not forget the roadmap of creation. We're learning the roadmap. If we're learning, I'm not teaching it, I'm learning it. Why am I learning it? Because it stands me in such good stead. And the funny thing is sometimes, like yesterday, the day before, I was exploring this nervous system situation, right? If you remember, you won't because you were probably not listening. Doesn't matter. I remember. And I had, for a day or two, I want to use this typically combative language, which I really don't like using. I had a battle with my own nervous system, but I didn't battle my nervous system. It's not true. So if I'm an autopilot and just speaking without awareness of what I'm saying, if I weren't now aware, I would have just said I was battling my nervous system. And then what am I saying? I wasn't battling my nervous system. I was watching it. And I did notice that in this strange, for me not really seeing the reason for the fight or flight response that was kicking up, and me realizing I want to get away. The truth that's activating is a danger alert. Now my system is considering fighting. There's nothing to fight, so that's not part of the story. Excuse me, but flight, definitely. Getting away, running away. And since if I can't, then going catatonic, whatever. And that is a bit of a storm inside of me. It was. And now we are in the waves, but the whole wave is not just like the future influences the present. Not just now I had glasses here. Oh God, am I sitting on them? No. Hold on, I want to read something. Tone 7, in this one place where I copied this from. Excuse me, I can't tell you where that is from now. Off the top of my head. I know where it comes from. Day 7, in there they ask, what can I do to stand in the light of my full mystical power? Now, what do I have to say? Tone 7 is I'm lazy to think. Channel, inspire, attune. And another word for inspire is also enervation. To enervate and to have this tone with on the storm. It's like I'm just actually quite blown away by that right now, because the storm is self-generation, catalyzed energy. Is a catalyst. I mean, it's enervation energy. This energy enervates the skywalker, and it's a transformer. It's the middle of yesterday. I went on a little bit about the pulsars, so I'm tuning them a bit. It's the life pulsar, which in the skywalker is blue, so it's what the life pulsar is, a transformation. So if the skywalker brings heaven to earth, if that is what he does, if that is what that archetype or energy does, if that's the part of us that brings that, then that's not just an observer. There is an active energy in that. And that is transformational, even though the skywalker is red, which is initiation. But this is a multi-dimensional module, so we can't always place the different dimensional operational systems next to each other. Attunement on tone 7, every one of the 5 musketeers, as I call them, is resonant. So our ability to skywalk, wakefulness, to bring our own, well, if tone 7 is channel, it's like, what are we channeling? Who are we channeling? Bruce Lipton says the body or the brain. Maybe the body is like the TV set, the brain is the antenna. He likens the physical self, the physiological self, the biology to a TV set, and says, we, consciousness, we are the broadcast that this system is receiving, and also somehow like broadcasting in a way that, I can't quote him now, but you know what I mean. So what is like when I say I was battling my nervous system, I want to say that I had too much, perhaps I had too much static, but no, truer would be, yesterday we had the white mirror, truth, order. If I get, like I sometimes ask myself, I'm so into analysis, because if I get down to the truth, if I can get it, I can change it. I look at myself, my biology, especially my biology. Who am I? Am I my biology, or am I the witnessing consciousness of my biology? Can I, whoever I am, download myself into this body properly? If this body, like this body or am I this body? Can I receive this consciousness, the spirit properly, if am I in alignment with what? Do you get it? This to me is complicated because all of it says I. And all of it is the totality of I. So I need to understand something. If my body, if I go into truth, if I understand, then I can reprogram. If my body kicks up a fight or flight response and produces chemistry that is going to cause a state in my body that another part of me reacts to, I become like a dog or a cat chasing their tail. I can't be creative because I'm just trying to survive, basically, because I'm busy battling. No, I'm just too busy. Even in as Tatiana analyze, no, wait, what is going on? If I'm in protective mode, and if I'm not aware of it, that creates static, that uses resources. It produces hormones, it produces adrenaline, it produces all kinds of things. In my particular case, it can land me in a depression. If I don't understand, how do I deal with that? What resources do I have to optimize myself? And am I just, I have to observe, skywalk, so that why do I do what I do? So that I can bring more heaven to earth. What does that mean? So I can channel more of spirit into my body, that I can be more present, wizard, on tone 3, electrifying. Now the storm, catalyzing energy, has to be somehow linked to tone 3, wizard, receptive mode, and the storm has the wind attached to its occult spirit, breath. This, where am I going? I'm just talking. For what reason? There's the sun and the earth, the water, the moon, and the monkey here as well. I'll get there if I get there. But I want to get to this nervous system situation and how it actually, I think it's resolving itself. And am I doing something, or is the act of observing enough doing? I said that I can't change the nervous system through thought. The autonomous nervous system isn't get regulated through thought. But there are different modalities that regulate it, such as breathing. Slow, deep breathing signals to the nervous system there is no threat. I should look up, but I don't have the book here. This relationship, I explored it yesterday, I think, between these different parts of the brain. One wants to be happy but can't produce feelings. The other produces feelings but can't. It's like a mole and can't understand the world out there. So the two have to work together. And if that is not a relationship that works based on reality, and here comes the monkey today, the inner child, the imagination. Oh, wait, Tatiana, you're too fast. Where are you coming from and where are you going? You're meandering a little bit too much right now. This nervous system thing. Okay, go and read this thing because this is interesting. Because the blue storm, catalyst, transformer, liberator, activation for ascension, purification, light body transformation, reunion, thunder being, lightning path, initiation by fire, ecstasy of freedom, self-generation. Yeah, good for you if you got all that. But the blue storm comes to help you in the disintegration process that moves you from separation to ascension. Now that's exactly, for me, fascinating. And it goes on, because this exploring that the Skywalker by itself, and it requires for me to have some space to explore what I feel, to have time to explore the body. We had the red serpent 4 times and the white world bridger 4 times in a row, observing the body. The Skywalker transcends in the serpent. So the body is the tool on this planet. I can take my time and observe international politics, national politics. I can observe my neighbors and gossip around what my neighbors are doing, or my circle of friends. I can complain or observe or explore what's going on at work. I do have free choice. I can go into the quantum field and observe about what's going on there. Where is my really important for my functioning on this planet? My first port of call is my port of entry, which is the red dragon. That's the port of entry. Mother, birth, being. In the third dimensional world, we come in through our mother, and then here we are coming into our body. It's symbolic that we enter through the mother. The body is the mother, life is the mother. We are rebirthing ourselves all of the time. We become our own mother as we grow up. And we become our own mother, birthing ourselves. We become our own self-fulfilling prophecy. We are our own auto-generative cycle. The glyph of the blue storm is that cloud of cells. It's like a cloud in the sky. It can be a cluster of cells. One being forms in there, and that manifests down here on earth. Or it is a lot of ideas. One gets picked out and manifested on earth. Of course, that's symbolic. A lot get picked out and manifested. But, there is always more than what gets manifested. But we have to make that choice. And based on what do we make that choice? Who are we incarnating? How can we optimally incarnate? Who are we choosing to be, that we make the world we're living in a better place? Yesterday I had a nice, beautiful conversation with a very good friend of mine and a mother figure in my life, beautifully. And we inspire each other, and the connection is very beautiful. And we spoke about complaining, and it's easy to slip into complainer mode. And it's natural, because our brains are still built, the survival mechanism makes us very alert to what could be dangerous, to move from danger. So if we're looking into the world of politics, for example, or the happenings on the planet, a lot of it suggests we're in immediate danger. And some people are, and they have to deal with it. And to whatever degree we have to deal with it. But if we go into complainer mode, we're joining a frequency that is not, in my eyes, making the world better. Not our immediate environment. It's not helping our bodies. It creates actually static distortion in the field. And we want to be aware of that. And sometimes we have a program running that says, I can't be happy as pie or happy as a pig in shit, when the world is in such a terrible state. It's as if it's not allowed. And that's a paradigm shift we need to make. And each has to solve that for themselves. to find the solution. How do we be the change you want to see in the world? Keep that high frequency going and trust that together there's a lot of people on this planet that are keeping this frequency. We're holding a frequency that is so strong that this craziness on the planet, look how crazy it has to become to uphold its power. I'm not going to go into details, but it's truly intense. And we are holding the frequency here that says, we're not worried about you. We're just upholding this. This other frequency, we're not holding a frequency against something else. We're not here to drive out the dark. We're just here to uphold light and joy and whatever new frequency. I don't even want to polarize this into light and dark again. Ugh. We're holding a frequency of a different kind of whatever brings heaven to earth. We're skywalkers. And they're bringing their heaven to earth. So is there a bit of a clash? Seemingly. In my world there isn't, but in my body there is. So I can look out into the collective. It would be wasting my energy if I let my fear frequency that started 2-3 days ago in my body. There's a danger somewhere. I'm not watching the news, so it's not coming to me from there. It may come to me from some other collective field. It may just be my own programming that says, I don't know, whatever it says. It doesn't matter. It's inappropriate. Because some part of me is trying to motivate me to act or to run or to flee. But there is no danger, so no part of me, there can be no action because there is a cross-wiring of signals happening. And if it causes me to want to run from myself because I'm trying to motivate me to run away, and the thing I'm trying to get away from is my own bad feeling, where am I going to go to? The only place I can actually run to is some other form of addiction to get rid of these feelings. And now that's not my way. I don't know if I can say I'm not wired that way. Maybe I've tried that in other lifetimes and realized, oh boy, it doesn't matter how far into addiction you go, you land up back here. You can't get away from this, no matter what you do, because this is the portal to your evolution. This is the portal to your evolution. So you can go play away for as long as you want. You can stall, but you can't, there isn't any other portal. You're gonna end up having to face this. And this, like a nightmare, it's an illusion. There's no problem here. It is a miscommunication between self and self. And it's wonderful for me personally to explore this in the Skywalker, because to me I consider that extremely important. To me it's like a base, the static, the noise that overlays the uncomfortable, my connection with the blue storm, the liberator. And in this wave spell, tone 7, blue storm, the resonant storm, and guided by the monkey and all of its attributes, to be very aware, what am I reacting to? And what is the reaction? And what is it doing to me? And who is all this? To me, this is really important to get myself through that. Other people have other resources. Those are not mine. And I'm just making an example, but the idea is each of us get to have our own path in this. So I want to read on. I don't know, I lost my path. I want to read on. Okay, the blue storm comes to help you in the disintegration process that moves you from separation to ascension. So my nervous system, I'm going back here, it's like this fear of separation. Something is, that's one way of looking at it. It creates a fear, a panic at something it doesn't understand. The simplest thing is like maybe in early childhood, I couldn't regulate the nervous system because I was separated from a regulated nervous system. And I hate to say it, but my mom's nervous system is frequently dysregulated. So one of the first things I learned in life was to regulate other people's nervous systems, but at the expense of something. And now I get to integrate that and understand the power I've built, the power I am, and this mothering of my mother that I learned, that many of us have learned, is now going to be used by me to mother myself, to become a whole. Okay, this initiation by fire, and it is a burning process, breaks any false containers of self that cannot withstand the flame of transmutation. Only your true identity will live through these fires, for you will be reborn in the heart of all that is. Oh, there's a letter missing here. For you will be reborn in the heart of all that is. That sounds very theoretical. But what does that ultimately mean? Peace. The heart of all that is, the core. In this wave spell, the core is taking us to the red earth. And it's taking us to the time pulsar of this, the Skywalker, the red Skywalker, red earth, red dragon, and red serpent. Birthing, being, nurturing, synchronizing, navigating, evolution, evolving. Oh wait, a wrong sequence. Wakefully exploring, what was his third attribute? Space, of course. Space, exploring, wakefulness. Earth as navigating, synchronizing, evolution, evolving. Dragon is birth, being, nurturing, and serpent is life force, kundalini. No. Life force, survive, instinct. Now here we have it all in a nutshell. This is the nutshell. And tone 13 serpent with transcending endurance presence. Transcend, endure, presence. So this is what endures. And the blue storm in the middle of this wave spell. How can I just really, I love that. The heart of all that is. And it's in the body. We are human right now. It's all good and well to understand the divine, and we have it within us. But if we're only gonna go and be, at least it's like if even me, if I'm only gonna go into that transcendent space of where I'm no longer really so human, I can do that. It's wonderful. It's truly blissful. But I've come to be human. And as a human, I have a body. And I have a now. And to unify myself in this now, in the heart of all that is, to be reborn, red dragon, in the heart of all that is, reborn on this earth, in this earth, as this earth, one with the earth. The earth is our mother, the sky is our father. It isn't theory. How do I live and walk my life, my frequencies, my joy on this planet together with my other humans in harmony, independent, interdependent, being a peace-bringing beneficiary to my environment. How do I be so full that I have to share? And what is my source of fullness that I can then share? Am I mean, oh, I just have a, you know, if I'm employed, I take the fullness of my resources, my time, my power, my energy, and I actually, maybe I'm employed and I do something that makes the city, the world a better place, the environment a better place, or am I just making someone else rich? Am I contributing to the well working of society? Am I working in a firm that produces a product that makes this place, this world a better place, like that is beneficiary to, maybe I work in a firm that produces cleaning products. Everybody needs cleaning products. That's a good thing, I guess. But is it like heavy, bad ass chemicals that are actually hurting the environment? Yesterday we spoke about this as well. Am I producing plastics? Can I reconcile that with my consciousness that I'm working for a firm that uses or produces plastics, perhaps, that are so damaging, perhaps, to the environment? Could I motion my own firm to really investigate in harmless plastics, or also starting a startup that investigates in how do we biodegrade the plastics on the planet? Can we can we also investigate in a solution for what do we do with all this plastics on the planet, stuff like that? That would be a creative skywalking process. How am I filling my own cup, that I have energy, that I wake up in the morning not dragging myself to work, dragging myself home, always at the 20% battery level. And if I live there for a very long time, my batteries can't charge full anymore. At some point, they have to be replaced. And this means probably replacing the body. And then, can I know there is a process by which I can replace my body's cells to get a new body? I don't have to die. But I need a very good reason to do so. And this blue storm is like teaching us the process of auto-generation. But can we be wise enough, yellow human, to not have to take ourselves to that place where now we need to take 7 years of burnout before we have a new body, before we can really be whatever, 68, and then start over full energy? I mean, is that efficient? It may be just part of the process, but what choice are we making? If we are already at that age, we take what we live with where we at. If we are 20 years old, we may want to understand, hey, what do I do? I don't know what influence we have. Sometimes we just have to go down that path and realize through our own experience that what doesn't work. The blue storm provides the water that purifies the red moon antipode and quenches our spiritual thirst. In this state of consciousness, we stand willing to surrender everything. We give up what we seem to be in order to become fully who we are. We step into the fires of the unknown and we are changed forever. I love that. Are we going to go on? I don't want to go on. I don't want this to be a theoretical treatise. So we're resonating. Is treatise a word? I don't know. We're resonating today with this frequency of transformation in the Skywalker. After we've explored truth, understanding that exploring our truth, getting truth, the white mirror, it represents alignment. The shape we take, we are yet responsible for this alignment. The universe will always answer the call, and we're always placing a call, and we're always receiving what we're ordering, so to speak. If we don't like what we're receiving, we have to check what are we ordering, and that is the white mirror, because the receiving white wizard is always a reflection of the order we've placed. And if we think, yeah, but I'm asking for X, but I keep getting Y, then we're not understanding that we're asking for Y. We don't understand how we ask for Y. If we keep getting Y, but we believe we're asking for X, then we need to investigate. And there is the Skywalker, the mirror on rhythmic, the earth. What are we synchronizing with? In truth. Where else in this wave spell is the mirror present? Go away. What are you doing? Oh, fuck. Sorry. Not there. Not there. Not there. Not there. Not there. Mirror. Double power on tone 6. Not there. Not there. On tone 9, solar dragon, with the sun and the earth as a guide. There's the truth again on the dragon as the occult power to the birth, nurturing, and being. If we're not being truthful, the mirror and the dragon are its own analog. They're the most like itself. You cannot be untrue. It's not possible. That's just not possible. That would be illusion. And this is something I want to talk about. Wait, okay, then we have the planetary wind, no mirror. Then we have the monkey, the spectral monkey, the mirror in the occult. A spectral night, I'm sorry. Also very important, truth again in this dream time. Truth versus illusion. This is something I wanted to talk about. Okay, and then we're done. So we have the mirror in the occult on the blue night, spectral night. We have the mirror on the solar dragon as the analog. We don't have the... We have the warrior in this wave spell, no? Oh, that doesn't have... Oh, the star is the antipode to the... Yeah, we don't have the star. This illusion versus... illusion. When we're feeding the illusion, we're feeding false information. The nervous system, if in my case, my nervous system provokes me into fight or flight, it just like does. It is doing so based on a false information, something that is not right now true. I spoke about this before with the instincts, how important it is to like what happens, if I go back to this conversation I had yesterday, what happens? We look at the world, we look at the politics, we look at what's happening out there, which is a reflection. White mirror, it's a reflection of ourselves. Whatever comes first, chicken or egg. I'm going to go now, I'm going to start here, no matter what came before, and I can say that there's something in us that makes us look at that, and then no. It's a cycle, it's a circle, it's a catch-22, it's a mirror reflecting mirror. It's the hall of mirrors is what the mirror stands for, the white mirror, which means it's a chicken and egg. It's a chicken and egg. Chicken produces egg, produces chicken, produces egg, ad infinitum in both directions, doesn't matter. Any place is the start. Any place is the start. That is the answer to that conundrum anyway. The chicken produces the egg produces the chicken. That is the answer. There isn't a start which doesn't have anything before it. But I'm going to intersect here and say, if we're looking at this politics, for example, and it causes us to contract, it raises anger, it pushes our buttons, it raises us to go into complain mode because now we want to talk about it, because it it's an energy. Never mind if there's an intention behind it to cause to keep us. It may be that there is an intention because there is an industry that benefits enormously from our dis-ease. So it has a very vested interest in producing dis-ease. Now, it cannot make us ill, but it knows what to give us that we make ourselves ill. And since the system has produced its own mechanics that we then, when we are ill or not well, we go to them and then we get their medication. You can go to the Tzolkin and get your medicine, but we go to them to get the medicine. And so if they, it's very simple, but this is, of course, I'm here to, the Tzolkin is self-empowerment. Why are we not being taught this in school? Because they write the school curriculum. It's that simple. But we are not powerless subjects to them. We are sovereign beings that choose our own game on planet Earth. If we look at what they present to us and what they are doing in the world and how bad things are, it kickstarts a domino effect inside of us, and before we know it, we are not well. We are in dis-ease. You cannot, can you look at the news and remain at ease? Look at it, stay neutral, stay joyful. It's very difficult. How can you look at child abuse or deportations or wars or disease and panic, and when you watch them, when we watch the news, they use images and they do that very cleverly. And it keeps us engaged on the level of the nervous system because it's like, oh my God, we got to watch out for the danger. But when you're looking at the TV, that danger is not in your life. But it's, to disengage from that, or to be very, very, very elevated and say, they are manipulating. The news is one thing, the imagery is another. And it is pushing your buttons, and you have to, if you have to understand the game on planet Earth, and you have to understand, I believe, the power you have over your own life, over your own inner state, over your own game. And then you have to make some smart decisions. Human being, yellow human, influence, free will, wisdom. To stay at ease. What does that mean? Can you watch the news and stay engaged and stay in ease? Or should you just disconnect from that part of the world? What happens? What helps? Can we look at the situation, send light and prayers? Understand this whatever. So at the end of the day, blue storm. What am I doing? Where am I going? Wait, reset, Tatiana. You've now preached a long time. I'm repeating myself. Silence. Let's just wrap this up. Yellow sun is the analog friend of the blue storm. Life, universal fire, enlighten. We've just been through the yellow sun wave spa. What does it mean to enlighten? To bring light. And light is consciousness. Consciousness is light. Light is medicine. Consciousness is medicine. Everything is mind. Everything starts where? We get to decide. We have to choose. I am the chooser of my reality. I may create to a degree. I may not create everything. It depends on how we talk about it, how we look at that. But I certainly have to choose. If my nervous system kicks up a fight or flight response that I consciously haven't chosen, I have to understand what can I now consciously choose to deal with it. And there lies my power of creation. And for me personally, the realizations during this wave spell, where my creative power or my creative ability or my creative resources, mentally, emotionally, actively, get manipulated by myself, blocked, to transform that, to transmute that, to allow the blue storm to come and transform that, to allow the yellow sun, the fire of enlightenment, to transform that. If the part of me that has created the problem, may not the part that can solve it, then I might be chasing my own tail. But I can give it up to spirit, white wind, the occult medicine power of the blue storm, spirit, breath, communication, slow breathing, other kinds of breathing techniques that change our state, universal waters, red moon, drink. I might be dehydrated. Dehydration in my system can kick up a fight or flight response because it can kick up a warning. There's a danger here. You need to hydrate. I need water. Purification. It's remember physiological water. Water is a multidimensional entity, by the way, but you know, so is everything. That is the switch over, seeing the third dimension no longer as 3D but as 5D. It is 5D. It is 5D. Also within, from within. Yes, it's 3D is the three dimensions of up, down, back, front, left, right, right? These are spatial dimensions. But we are not just spatial dimension beings. And we're not 4D, which is space, the space and time. We're multidimensional because within the three dimensions and the fourth dimensions of time, the fourth dimension of time, we are now within that. All the dimensions that are also found within and beyond. The beyond is within. And switching, excuse me, I listen to a very, I love the algorithms on YouTube. That is also spirit using them. They present me, us, yeah, every now and then with a new, completely new channel. And it's like, oh my God, I want to listen to everything you have to say. But there's too much there. So it's like impossible. And we trust the abundance of the moment. I found this amazing channel that also combines quantum physics and wisdom, humanity, psychology, beautifully. And they spoke about the overwhelm or what the mind can do when it shifts. The mind or the brain, they call it the brain. I'm not sure that we're using, it's so difficult to talk about this because we're always using defined words that define things to talk about a multidimensional experience that no longer adheres to those definitions, which is why quantum physics is crazy making, because it is beyond physics, but it's like you can't talk particles because they're not particles anymore. And now you have to go into a realm and talk about it in a way that in the physics, they're exactly saying, no, can't talk God, can't talk consciousness, can't use all that. But it's like, how do we talk? But they're getting there. And the quantum physicists are truly brave, in my eyes, truly brave humans who, and truly something really smart and wise there, because they are combining as best they can, if and when they can. You can't leave consciousness, the observer, out. And now they're trying, some of them are trying very hard to define the observer, like to, you can't demystify the mysterious. It's just like not possible, because you're, at the end of the day, you're looking at yourself. You're looking at yourself. That's the white mirror. Oh, it's just like beyond beautiful. This being true to ourselves, being true to what is the self to be true to, what is being true. And it's very easy to look outside at the mirror and want to change it. It's fighting windmills. Yes, people are idiots. Yes, people are manipulated. Yes, people make stupid choices, but never mind them. And we get scared because it looks like all those idiots are affecting our lives, quote unquote. That's how we tend to think about it. So we're starting to fight. And we don't realize in that case that is fighting windmills. We can do it. It's a game. We can do it. I mean, if it blows your dress up, do it. But if you want to be really effective in your own life, change your inner settings and find a playground where you are the creator of magnificence. You can't fight the system that is more powerful than you, but you can create a new one that is more powerful than it. It's that simple. And that system, or those systems, they all exist in the quantum reality. Everything exists. Just find the playground where you are happy playing. If it's going to be like, where can I go in the world? Everywhere is trouble. You haven't yet discovered the world where not everything is trouble. And it's in the same third dimension. It's within here. It's the same planet. A different timeline on the same planet, or a different dimension on the same planet. I mean, yeah, and what this video is saying, and I want to quote, is that the brain likes predictability, it likes certainty, it likes what it knows. Now we have been indoctrinated, so to speak, we have been programmed in the third dimension, in the knowing of what science says, this is true, this is true, this is true, our religious beliefs, our science beliefs, our social beliefs, our God knows what beliefs, everything believes the world is a solid place, this is like this is like that. When we go quantum, when we open the mind up, it's like suddenly all of that disappears. And it's said very wisely, when that happens too fast, it can be very, very disturbing. That other truth or other truths, it takes some time for the mind to get used to that everybody holds their truth, that nothing is true, everything is true, the whole of mirrors, everything, chicken causes egg, there is no beginning, there is no end. The mind can't, the brain, the third dimensional, however paradigm, all the paradigms, like we have to slowly go there. We have to take ourselves there slowly if we're going to go there. And I think even I go there sometimes too fast, and parts of me aren't coming along, or something happens. I haven't quite figured out what exactly causes the fight or flight, and I'm not sure that I need to, if I'm just going to waste my time instead of just causing peace. I'm investigating unpeace. Sometimes I have to, sometimes I don't, sometimes I'm confused. Maybe I'm fighting windmills within myself. I have to figure that out, or not, I don't know. But if I keep thinking I'm ineffective when I'm actually effective. It's very complex, and I'm not going to explore that here now, but I can sometimes drown in my own complexity, I suppose, and to let the blue storm take me back to the simplicity of one, the simplicity of one. Take one particle, one channel, and bring that one thing here, one breath in and one breath out. And really reduce yourself to the simplicity of this moment for now, however difficult it is. Oh, and this, the illusion, the mind, the imagination, they spoke about this beautifully as well. If I realize this in this wave spell, and I want to say it for my own sake, because I want to investigate this a little bit more, or give it over to the field to tune. I notice that whatever states I experience, I talk a lot. I talk a lot in this chats here, but I observe my own mind rendering explanations, rendering storylines. I suppose that would be rendering timelines to explain what I believe I'm experiencing. And it's a little bit like the process of we go around photographing everything, and sometimes we're not experiencing the experience, we're just photographing it. So am I distracting myself from the experience by giving it word? I read a quote yesterday from Khalil Gibran. We want to give word to our experience. And this is a very deep issue that I'm also experiencing. I've experienced this for months now. Wanting words to affirm what I believe is happening, because I don't want to live in an illusion. But I have to keep reminding myself, I have to just experience my experience. I don't understand, and this is very new for me and very difficult to hold the space for myself, because it's an experience that I share with another human, and I want affirmation from that other human. Are we sharing the same experience or not? Am I crazy? Am I in illusion? What is going on here? And I'm working with bringing myself, well, what is my experience exactly? What is it? And it is a state of being inside myself that takes me to a space of, I need reflection. I need I need to reflect what I'm experiencing. But I am in reality. The reality is very different to the story my mind is making up. It's not very different, but the reality, the third dimensional reality is one thing. Then there is a multidimensional reality where I'm getting the affirmations, I'm getting it in 3D, I'm getting it in multi-D, and then there is a storyteller in me that wants affirmation for the story I'm telling myself. And that part is the blue monkey that I have to really, really watch, because it creates illusions. And those illusions are kicking loose my nervous system. There's a very deep, there's a thing there. And I need to investigate that. And I need to listen to those clips I listened to a few more times and then translate it here for myself, for us. What that illusion does. And I use that power of imagination to bring my heaven to earth, to make me feel good, to give me beautiful feelings. But the opposite also happens, because we're always having the lunar tone, right? Each one always can be a challenge. Every force creates a direct and opposite force. Any force created creates a direct and opposite force. The third law of Newton's third law of motion or something like that. I need to write it down so I actually remember it. So I need to understand that I can cause my own detriment through my imagination. Blue Knight, the antipode of the Skywalker. Careful, there's a shadow to everything. So if I'm not aware of how I'm using my imagination or what I'm pulling out of the dream field, and to my inner being, it all feels real. That's where reality is my experience. Whether I'm touching it in the third dimensional, seemingly external realm, or in the multidimensional internal realm, it still is experienced as reality. My panic is experienced as reality, even though there's nothing to be panicky about. And it's not experienced in the third dimension. There's nothing happening here. There's no panic, no nothing. Everything is fine. Everything is extremely peaceful. Everything is extremely good. I can pay my rent. I have food. I have friends. Everybody is healthy. Everything is exactly where it was 3 days ago. Everything is fine. No need to grieve. No need to panic. Nothing. And yet inside of me, there is a thing going on. So I need to understand, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? And it is autonomous. The autonomous nervous system. It acts on behalf of me. It doesn't want to hurt me. It acts on behalf of an automated system that is outdated. It's an instinctual system that is outdated. It needs updating. So, and we're doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Now this has gotten so long again. Okay, I wish us a playful, explorative day, and I wish us for our transformations to happen playfully, easily, inspiringly, resonantly, that we easily move into the space of resonance with what we desire, what gives us peace, with our own peace. We are the peace. It's inside us. It's as autonomous as our autonomous nervous system. It's already there. And I wish us coherence, that we are coherent, resonant, in coherent resonance, in resonant coherence with all aspects of ourselves, and including a growling stomach, which is going to get some food in a minute, and with our environment, with our social environment. May we find coherence also with these seemingly crazy happenings on the planet, and understand there is good sense in it all, even if we don't understand it. Can we understand that we don't understand everything? We don't have a full overview. The child, blue monkey, the inner child, does not understand the decisions the parents make. It seems to them as this is really bad. So we're looking at things that look to us as these are really bad, but we don't have the full picture. So let's just be in trust, Red Dragon, that things will be all right. Whatever is happening right now needs to maybe be made worse so that we understand something bad is being lifted. Stop preaching, Tatiana. I wish us a beautiful day. I'm sending you lots and lots of light, lots and lots of love into the field, the quantum field, where we all are connected. All right? Aho.